What's happening, people, and once again welcome back to youtube.com/CubCamTV for this another edition of CubReacts as we jump into this one brand new from Asake alongside Olamide, this one Omo Ope. First time I think these two have linked up. As far as I'm aware, Asake is a brand new artist. It's the first time I've actually reacted on this channel. I saw something on his page from about a year ago, but in general it looks like someone who is definitely on the come up at the moment. Really excited to explore new talent as always. If you are new to the channel though, please make sure you are hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page, turning notifications on, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff. We've got loads more stuff on the way for the channel, and we're about to hit 20k subscribers, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. So thank you to each and every one of you who has got involved so far. Without further ado, then let's jump into the sounds of this one. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see where we go. Ooh. The drums sound wicked on this already. Really crunchy, really nicely processed. Oh. Yeah. It's an interesting intro. I always get worried when people kind of have these blocks of silence in tunes that last for more than like half a second. For some reason, for me, it just petrifies me. I remember there was a point I was on radio a few years ago where if there was silence for more than 3 seconds, an auto backup system would kick in so you wouldn't get fined. And since then, I've always been so weary when artists put like blocks of silence in tunes. Obviously, it comes back and it gives you that kind of impact, especially before a like a drop. Then the actual tune lands, you get the bass impact of it all, and it gives you like a kind of smack in the face as it lands. But it's something I'm always very wary of. But overall, this one's sounding great so far. The percussion sounds super clean. Loving the kind of vocal effects with those higher pitch backing vocals as well. Sounding cool. It's an interesting arrangement as well. Sounding very different. Woo! Let's go. Love that use of choir vocals. There's a lot of cool elements to this. Again, we're getting those syncopated horn stabs that are running throughout the center of the tune, giving it a general kind of natural bob and weave. It gives it a natural kind of, again, a natural kind of groove. I love it when people use synchronized horns in the same way you would use kind of chords in ska music. It's something that always adds an additional dash of energy for me. Those backing vocals, however, that choir-sounding kind of sweep in the background gives this one so much life and so much energy. The color we're getting off the vocal, as far as texture goes, is fantastic. It really does fill out the tune. It gives it a very kind of epic, again, kind of almost soundtracky kind of feel when you have those big sweeping vocals in the background. This is sounding good, man. Again, very different. There's a lot of experimental elements that I'm enjoying, and it sounds very refreshing more than anything else. The percussion and the rhythms on this are fantastic, I've got to say. Wow. Yeah, on a sort of sonic texture level, there's so much going on with this. The constant kind of unpredictability of those drum loops and those percussive kind of stabs, giving it this this feeling of you never know what's going to come next. I'm sat here kind of going, like, throwing myself around the room because every single time one of those drums hits, it just throws you. It puts you into a different zone, and I think that's such an impressive thing to be able to do on a tune, to keep people guessing as they go without it feeling like too over the top. I think this is a really good example of that. Again, those sweeping choir vocals in the background, man, they're giving this one such an additional sense of color. And yeah, it's good, man. I really do like it. I like the fact it sounds different, man. I think we are in a time, music-wise, where things can sound very samey. It's very easy to stick to formulas. But with this one, it sounds like they've taken a couple of small elements and gone, you know what, let's mix things up entirely. And I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Ooh. Let's get those logs. Ooh, the strings as well. Are you mad? This is wicked. Yeah, on an actual musical level, this one's really impressive, man. Even just layering those kind of additional strings into the mix, and then on top of that, kind of having these choir vocals there again, everything just works together very cleanly. When you then kind of double that up as well with, I just punched my microphone. I'm enjoying myself too much. That's why my arms are flailing all over the place. But again, that constant switch around with the vocals. I'm loving the fact the vocals are slightly auto-tuned as well. It gives it an extra layer of texture, an extra layer of sonic color, and it just brings the whole thing to into more life, man. It's a very enjoyable arrangement. Like, I'm constantly guessing what's going to come next, and they keep adding new layers, which I always really enjoy from a listener's perspective.
I love it, darling, never, ballin', forever. You go dig like a coacha, baby, enter. Get money, could you go paper? You want you a big boss, you want a bamba?
It's interesting on a kind of drum level, because there are a lot of elements of this that you would naturally associate with the Amapiano sound. We're starting to hear those log drums roll in. Again, the way the drums are structured are very similar to Amapiano sounds, but this is a lot kind of quicker than you would expect an Amapiano tune to be. Again, I don't know if that's something that people would class within that Amapiano bracket. It's not like a typical sounding thing, but there are definitely elements being taken from that production arsenal. And again, I'm loving the switch up in vocal styles. The call and respond we're getting over this section, again, giving you that kind of throwing feeling. It means you're moving from one side to the other. You're constantly being kind of dragged from one area and being put in another. You can't stay still, basically, and that's something that's really important when you're creating music with this sort of arrangement, to make sure that people aren't sitting still to it. You have to have that natural kind of groove that this brings, and both rhythmically and vocally we're achieving that, which is great to hear. Again, that switch around with the logs is great. The little transition, and again, this is something this tune does really well. The way it transitions between different sections is really, really clean. It's either using kind of tom rolls and percussive rolls, or using silence, or just using nice sweeps or vocal overlays. Every single transition between a section has worked really cleanly, and I think that's difficult to achieve when you're trying so many different ways of transition. Normally, when you get a style of transition within a tune, you just stick to it, and that works every time. They're doing different things every time. On a production level, there's a lot to appreciate about this one. It does take you in a lot of different directions, and there are clearly a lot of different influences involved in it. It's really, really cleanly put together. Choir vocals, man, they sound great. We're getting timpani drums in the background as well, yeah. This is mad, literally, on a level of unpredictability. Every single time a new 16-bar phrase comes along, something new lands. The last thing I was expecting to hear on this was timpani orchestral drums. They're the big sort of rolling drums you hear in the background of, again, big orchestral pieces a lot of the time in official soundtracks and cinematic soundtracks in general. Those big sort of big drums in the background. It sounds really, really cool, though. It's another cool addition, and again, it's very experimental with a lot of the instrumentation that's been used. The fact they've got those string lines in there, adding a layer of depth and emotion on top of the vocal lines, which are working fantastically well, and then those choirs in the background as an overall kind of collection of sounds. This one works really, really well. I'm really enjoying this. Like, how can you not smile to that? Bassline's wicked as well. Hardly spoken about bassline, it's wicked. Well, there we go. The sounds of Omo Ope. This one, Asake featuring Olamide. A lot of those. But it works really well, man. Again, it's a wicked collaboration. I think both of them do their part very, very well. I love the fact they are very intertwined throughout this one. And even though it's a 2-minute 46 tune, I feel like we do go to a lot of different places. The tune is constantly switching up. The phrasing is fantastic. Loads of different elements involved in this one. And I do like the fact that we do get to explore so many different styles and influences. Again, a lot of Amapiano influences, whether that be the syncopated horns over the drop, the rolling log drums, or again those sort of snare lines that we get in there. The arrangement feels a little bit different to a typical Amapiano tune, though. It definitely has a lot more sort of typical, shall we say, Afrobeat infused ideas within the arrangement value. Again, adding those strings in there as well, just giving it that extra sense of depth, and then the choirs as well. Musically, this one's really interesting to listen to, and I did enjoy breaking it down, and I hope you guys did enjoy the breakdown. If you did, please make sure you are hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page, turning notifications on, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff. Don't forget to check out the obviously the Spotify playlist that we run, the Fresh Afrobeat Flavor playlist. I'm always adding new music to it, so please do go and follow it if you haven't already. That's it from me, though. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and we shall see you all next time. Peace.
Sounding so good right now. But it's sounding a bright and town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, CubCamTV. Stay locked.